Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spiritual Journey podcast. My name is Nimish Shardi and I'm your host. I always love starting every episode by saying thank you. I feel so blessed with this podcast. The people it reaches, the impact it has. I really started as a passion project and I had no idea how big it was going to get and the impact it's having. So I feel so blessed. I started with doing maybe one episode every couple of months. Now I do 2 a week and I love doing it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're a regular listener, welcome back. I appreciate you. If you're new, welcome. Let us know if you have any feedback. Feedback's always a blessing. If you have any podcast episode suggestions, anything you want to share, please do DM me or send me a message on whichever platform. I'm an Akashic record reader, Akashic trainer, podcast host, podcast trainer, as well as a spiritual coach and mentor. What I do is I hold your space while you're going through a shift. I get you to understand the decisions your soul made when you incarnated into this life. And I never tell anybody what to do. I'll always hold your space to guide you to you. Everything we need is inside us, and I get you to understand what that feels like. I love what I get to do. I get to see the light in people's eyes change. I get to see you shine your light differently. So I do that through an amazing mentorship program or through an Akashic record reading, through this podcast. But if my voice resonates, reach out, book a free discovery call, and maybe we're meant to connect. So in this podcast, I get to interview some amazing guests. And today I've got Vicki with me today. Vicki has invited me to be a judge on the Business Ascension Awards, which I'm very, very happy about. And I feel blessed to have her on the podcast today. Looking forward to this conversation. And under full disclosure, this is the second take. We started recording and I guess the energy was too high. So we started again. So Vicki's got to hear my introduction twice now. But Vicki, I'd love you to introduce yourself using your own words. Welcome.
Thank you, Nimesh. I hadn't discovered your podcast until quite recently. And when I listened to it, I was like, you've just got such an amazing voice to sit and listen to. You could listen to it all day. It's so calming and so refreshing and wonderful. And thank you for inviting me along today. My name is Vicki Chisholm. I am a psychic business strategist. I predominantly work with entrepreneurs who are finding that strategy doesn't work for them. And what really is happening is they've become disconnected. So they need work around the sales identity and behavior patterns, which stops them from taking the action. And that is where I get to create lots of miracles out here for those that are spiritually awake and want to make an impact. Like yourself, I've been a podcast host, best-selling author. I now host the UK's first and only Spiritual Entrepreneur Awards. I can't wait for the symposium this year, which is just going to be amazing. I've created the world's first business tarot deck because I was tired of people listening to people online, and I want them to be their own gurus, not keep giving their power away to the externals. So yeah, I've been a bit of a creator. I like being innovative. I like bringing change to the world and breaking down doors along the way if necessary. And bridging the gap between spirituality and business, because I believe they are one. They shouldn't be separate.
I love it. I mean, that's just so needed, right? It's that, we're all kind of a bridge in some kind of way, right? Be a bridge between the 3D and the 5D. And it feels like it's an important thing to do. And I feel like we're shifting into, from divine masculine to divine feminine. And, the importance of community, collaboration, connection feels so much more important. So I love everything you're doing because I really do feel like encourages that collaboration, that connection, that communication. So, but as we start, I'd love for you to share what I always love starting by just talking about the current energy and what you're feeling. So I'd love for you to share what are you seeing, what are you feeling when you're with your clients, with the work that you're doing? How do you feel the energy is shifting?
So it's always evolving. And no two sessions are ever the same. No two clients are ever the same. They may have exactly the same problem that they bring to the table, but underneath that is always something slightly different. So the presenting issue is never actually what we're working on. We're working on a much deeper issue. So most people will say, my sales strategy isn't working, or I'm not attracting the right clients. It's actually got nothing to do with the strategy. It's more to do with who they are as an individual and as a person. And it's that then has the biggest breakthrough, because if you are trying to sell or invite people into your space, but actually you're introverted and you've gone through extensive trauma and you now need a lot of safety before you let people into that space, you're putting blocks up, you're putting guards up, you're putting, this energetic invisible shield in front of you going, well, consciously I want you inside that program, but subconsciously I'm keeping you at arm's length, mate, and there's no way you're coming anywhere freaking near me. And this is where the work that I do gets to be so varied. How do I feel when I'm delivering it? Sometimes I feel like I'm pulling teeth. I'm not going to lie. There are times when I feel like I'm pulling teeth, because it's, we're revisiting old things. And other times I feel so lit up by what we're doing. So at the weekend I spoke at the Soul Revolution Festival. I had no idea who was going to turn up for the workshop, like literally not a clue. My daughter was there with me, witnessing all that we did. And I asked the audience, what is the one thing, the massive thing that you don't feel that you could reach? What do you want out of your business, your life, financially? And several of them in the room said, I'm with that person over there and I want to reach the millions. So I got to sit there and activate them to receive that on a different vibration that they've never experienced before. And I got to do that just on the whim. It wasn't planned, it wasn't prepped, it was the audience giving me, and then I just worked with it. And that's what I love about what I do. I take what people want, I alchemize the crap they don't need, and I infuse them with the activation from within them to receive. And it's mind-boggling at the same time, because logically that shouldn't happen, but spiritually and scientifically we can prove that frequency is everything. And it's just so, I get intrigued by it because I'm learning from it. Why can that person have that and not that person? What's the difference? And the difference is the energy that they're holding. And some people have never been taught what shame is really doing to them. Some people have never been taught that they can have what they want. And it becomes a separate entity.
I love it. So basically, I love it because I agree. Everything in your external is a result of something your internal, and kind of everything you've been through, your inner child, even what your soul's been through before you incarnated, kind of you carry that with you, and it feels like you channel that wisdom when you connect individuals, kind of really kind of dig into what they need. And as you say, every soul is different, right? Outwardly it may look exactly the same, but we're all unique souls having this human experience. So I love it. I'd love for you to share more about your journey, because obviously how did you kind of create this version of you? I'm sure there's a story there. I'd love for you to share as much of your journey as you feel called to.
Okay. So my journey, do you know, I'm going to be really honest. A couple of weekends ago, I was out and I was just chatting to different people, and someone was really keen in wanting to learn more about my life, my journey, my experience. And inside, part of me was like, I don't really want to share this because it's not part of me. And that's not who I am today, but that part of my life is dark, and I'm happy to talk about it, but it just made me reflect a few weeks ago. And I was like, what happened here? And I was like, do you know what? There are times when I don't want to share, not because it's not valid, but because it's not who I am. So what got me to where I am today is not pretty. It's not some fancy Porsche that someone's put me in and transported me through the decade.
Sure.
My childhood wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. I had an alcoholic father, alcoholic grandparents. My mum was emotionally shut down and guarded. She didn't know how to be safe in herself. So, she would be very shut off with us. So I grew up with emotional neglect. I grew up with addiction. I grew up with having to self-soothe. I grew up in a world that I never fitted into. So I left home at 15 because it became unsafe for me being in that environment. And I jumped out of the fire and into the frying pan with people that were supposed to look after me, said all the right things and ultimately didn't. So my experience was quite dark. There was drugs, there was alcohol, there was sexual abuse, there was homelessness. There was times when, for my own safety, I had to walk the streets at 3 o'clock in the morning with no shoes on because I needed to escape. And then once I'd found a bit of safety and stability, I got a full-time job working for £2 an hour in a residential care home. And from that point, I was taken in by someone who, I suppose, infatuated me with. My friend gave him my number, and 29 missed calls later, I caved and went, "What the hell do you want? What have I got to do to get rid of you? Like, seriously." It turns out that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I'll ever make in life. There was lots of red flags there, and that turned into 12 years of quite consistent emotional, psychological abuse. 3 children who are amazing, but that journey wasn't as happy as it could have been. And it was through that journey where I kept being drawn to spiritual things. Like, I was always drawn to Reiki, I was always drawn to the psychic mediums, I was always curious. There was always something within me that knew there was more to this than what people were telling me. You know, my parents were very shut off to it. Oh, that's just a load of crap, people are just conning you. And I'd be like, but they're not, and I don't see it. I just don't see what you're trying to say. My gut, my instinct, my soul was screaming for this, but because of the people around me, I couldn't really indulge in it. Like, I couldn't really explore. When I was 19, 20, I went to see my first medium, and I will never, ever, ever forget that experience, because he sat there, he had his Frank's box, and this name kept coming up through the Frank's box, Bob, 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 which was my dad's dad, who I'd lost when I was 13. Never really had a relationship with him, didn't think much of it. Anyway, the story evolved, and it wasn't as pretty. Things that came forward weren't as pretty as what they could have been. But all of a sudden, I was fixed in my chair. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, and I was completely paralyzed. It felt like an eternity. Wow. And the medium that I was with drew this Chinese guide. And he said, "I'm with you, Vicki. Just stay with me. You're safe. You're okay. We're going to be all right." And the energy was trying to come into my body. So the angel guide had protected it. And it was from that moment where I had to start working with spirit in a different way. And then I closed down because I didn't know how to handle the energies that were happening. I'd be going to bed at night and I'd be levitating off the bed. Physically, I wasn't, but I'd be feeling like I was. And I just didn't know how to manage it. And I wasn't in the right space. I didn't have the right people around me. So I went and got closed down. And then when I started my own business, things started changing, because I was meeting people who were basically saying, "Well, why can't you do that and get your other half, your partner, to do that with the kids so that you can go and do that?" And I was like, my life doesn't work like that. I have to do everything, otherwise it doesn't work. But they started opening my eyes a little bit to see that I was very isolated. It was work and kids and no social life, no outdoor life at all, apart from going on dates with friends with children, you know, going on play dates or going to the park or having barbecues and things. That was my social life. Outside of that, there was nothing for me. And by the time I was 26, I was offered a double mastectomy because I had fibroadenomas that was so intense I couldn't even take my clothes off without being in severe physical pain. And they said, "We can give you a double mastectomy, but because you're a smoker, we won't reconstruct you." And I was like, I'm in my 20s. Like, I'd rather just live with the pain than go through that trauma. And then I started working with myself a little bit. And within 6 months, I'd actually eased and it had gone. And then I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, complex PTSD, and all these other things. So by the age of 29, I was a complete and utter mess. But I'd reached the lowest of the low. So I left the relationship and said, I need to rebuild my life for me. And then I went on a whole completely different journey. I ended up closing down my business, burning out, spending 3 months on the sofa. I went back to the doctors after doing 16 weeks of psychotherapy, and I walked in and walked out the same person. Nothing had changed. Literally nothing. Just done 16 weeks of psychotherapy, and I'm still in the same position that I was. I was fuming.
I'm sure.
So I went back to the doctors and I was like, right, what are we going to do next? Because I can't live the rest of my life like this. And he said, unfortunately, you've now exhausted all avenues. The only thing you've got is pain relief, pain management, and you'll probably be in a wheelchair by the time you're 40. And that was it for me. I was like, absolutely not. And I left that doctor's surgery with a fire in my belly that day. So what I did instead was I contacted a friend and I said to that friend, I need some help. EFT has worked for me in the past. I now need to train in it. I need to learn how to do this for myself. So my journey with energy psychology began. I trained. Once I'd started the EFT training, I then went in and trained in Reiki. So I combined them both. So I would start with EFT, then I would do Reiki because I needed to relax and alchemize my body to be able to even consider moving forward with anything.
I love it.
And the journey's just evolved from there. So I've done so much training, I've done so much development that I've also reached a point where those things don't work for me anymore because I've gone above and beyond the traditional states. EFT does still support my journey, but other modalities just don't touch the sides for me anymore. I've done Akashic Records. I've done everything you could possibly imagine. I've gone there with it. But within 2 years of starting that, I was fibromyalgia symptom free.
Wow.
I wasn't struggling with debilitating anxiety as much. I was able to sleep better. I chose to go and learn to ride motorbikes instead. So, it gave me my life back. And then as the journey evolved, I realized that I'd been psychically channeling for all of my clients in their businesses without even knowing it. And then that opened a whole new doorway for me. So when I had my first business, I couldn't understand why my clients couldn't do my staff couldn't do what I was doing. It didn't make any logical sense. I was like, but you just do that. And they're like, but we don't work like you, Vicki. And I'm like, but what is it am I doing that's different? I don't understand. And I have this innate ability to tap into someone's business, to know exactly what they need to be able to take the next steps. Neurotypical people don't have that.
I'm sure. It's a muscle you've got to build, right? So
I haven't built it. It was always there.
Yeah.
And I think I do believe it started in childhood because I became a people pleaser to keep myself safe from everybody else. So I learned to know what someone needed before they needed it.
Wow.
So I think it was part of that, but it was also intuition. Like, I can tell by the vibration of someone's voice what's going on in their business. I'll stand and psychically channel at events, where I'll take to the stage and I'll just do random Q&As. Like, give me one question about your business and I'll answer it and I'll channel the solution for you. Just by the vibration of their voice, I'll know where they are and where they're going.
Wow. I love it.
So, yeah, it's been quite a journey, to be fair.
For sure. It's interesting. It's like, and the resistance of sharing your story, it's never about your story. It's always about how you responded to your story, how you used your story to create who you are today. It's that, because, Your story is your story. Your soul's decided to kind of put you in different situations to release karma, to grow as a soul. And it's how you responded to that. And I mean, there's in all the people I speak to, there's always like a consistency of I didn't belong. I didn't feel like I belonged. And I tried to fit in, but it didn't work. And that kind of. But it's like a painful experience has kind of expanded you in that way, and it's brought you to you are today. So congratulations on kind of following those nudges and tapping into an energy, a vibration that you don't need to understand.
Yeah.
As you said, you had it. And the other consistent thing I hear all quite often is, as a child, I felt something and, I wasn't sure what it was and I shut it down. And either you shut it down yourself or the adults around you kind of convince you to shut it down. It's just, on this
Yeah.
spiritual journey, it's interesting the consistency of those factors.
I think there's always this one day that I will never, ever, ever forget. And it was the day I realised my body was talking to me. And I was on the bus. I was about 14. No, I was 15. I was 15. And I was on my way home from school. And I hadn't been at school much. But I was on my way home from school this one day. And I had this feeling in my stomach, don't go home. Don't go home. Don't. And it was persistent and it was overwhelming to the point I thought I was going to be sick. The anxiety that I was feeling was so intense. And I really wish I'd listened that day and not gone home, because what my body was trying to warn me from something, but I ignored it. And that day, at the age of 15, I realised I cannot ever ignore that feeling ever again, ever. And it has saved my life more times than I can even count, that feeling. There was another time when I did go against it, but I was cautiously aware of it. And I went out on my motorbike and I had this feeling and it was like, don't forget, you change your gloves, change your gloves, change your gloves. And I was like, oh, it'll be all right. We'll be fine. I ended up in a motorbike accident that day and my glove burst. I should have had my other gloves on, but they tried to tell me before I leave and I just wasn't listening. But yeah, being able to connect to that intuition, that guidance it's priceless. They don't teach you stuff like this at university, and I really wish they would.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, our physical body is such a natural channel. It's the vessel for our soul, and you just, how often do we feel something, and instead of sitting with it, do we go and Google it, or now we use Ask AI? Let's find out and do. But it's like so powerful just to listen to your body, and sometimes I feel like when we don't listen, our guides teach us a lesson. Make sure we do listen next time. That's I feel like they have jokes too, right? They have their own way of using things as a teachable moment. They don't want to hurt us. Our universe doesn't want to, but I feel they want us to grow. They want us to learn. So
They do. And, I suppose at the Business Ascension Symposium last year, which was the first of the events for the UK's first Spiritual Entrepreneur Awards, I actually shared something I hadn't shared publicly before. And that was, I was a 15-year-old homeless teenager with not a lot of support, very misunderstood. And here I am creating change in the world, like completely. I've got 30,000 students in my miniature courses. Yeah, I'm reaching hearts from all over the place that need this work. And with my activated breakthrough method that I've created for the sales and wealth activations, it's body talk. We're using the body and we're using the subconscious. And without that, I think that's why we're so disconnected as a society, because instead of going in, instead of, okay, what am I really feeling here? What is this triggering for me? What is this anchoring for me? What story is evolving from here? We can't move beyond it. We stay stuck within it. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like being there.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to create a life that makes me happy, that's filled with adventure, that's filled with joy and abundance and creativity and randomness.
And the thing is that certainly recently, over the last few years, I feel like we've gone very serious, with all this healing but I do like to remind people this life is for living, right?
Yeah.
Our soul chose to be here, not, yes, for growth, but also to have some fun, right? It's not meant to be all serious. So I love the fact that you mentioned that. So let's say somebody's listening to this and they're like, you know, great for Vicky to talk about this and, kind of, she's in a good space, but I'm really struggling. What would your advice be to that person that's listening that maybe is struggling, kind of struggling to connect with their body, struggling to really exist on this planet? What would you advise for them to be? What would you advise them to do? Apart from reaching out to you, of course. What else would you recommend?
Well, I think the first thing that I would be saying is you have just accepted awareness of where you are, and that is probably the first step. A lot of people won't accept that awareness. They'll shut it down and they'll suppress it. And the fact that you have opened up and said, I need help, I don't feel good, is something to be really proud of, because it takes courage and it takes bravery. And having been there myself, I do understand that aspect. The next step is really to look at what it is that you want. So you probably heard the phrase, focus on what you do want instead of the things that you don't, because our brains are programmed to tell us the things that we don't want. But when we're in a space of disconnection, it's really hard to break that pattern. But if you were to give yourself permission for 10 minutes to sit and go, well, if I don't want this, what do I want? And allow that to unfold and expand. Because in the moment, you might think, well, that's not possible for me. But if you can write it, you can think it, you can feel it, it absolutely is possible for you. And once you understand what you want, you'll then be able to make the next step, which would be reach out and get support from someone. There are so many free resources out there that you can access. You don't have to do it alone. There is so many people that you can connect to that could guide you in different ways. I mean, YouTube is filled with all kinds of transformational audios and breakthroughs. Just be very careful what you allow in, but ask for the help. People want to help you, and I say that as someone who is very reserved when it comes to asking for help. It's not something I find easy. I've always been hyper independent, but allowing other people to help you so you can help yourself will be one of the biggest gifts you will ever give yourself. And the world needs you.
Beautiful, beautiful words. And, thank you for admitting that, you struggle to ask for help, because it's that, speaking your truth is important too, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I couldn't agree more. What you focus on expands, and your guides will follow you, right? So if you focus on what you don't want, your guides, the universe will think that's what you want. You want more of that, and that's what you'll get. So if you focus on what you do want, then I really believe the universe, our guides, want to support us, but we just need to kind of meet them part way, right? So thank you for those words. I'd love to move on to the Business Ascension Awards. How did they come about? What was the vision? What was the thinking? What was that journey like?
Okay, so I've been working with spirit for a very long time. That's how anything I do is always spirit led. It's never from me just deciding I've got this fantastic idea, I'm going to run with it. So just to give you a little bit of context, December 2024, Spirit said to me, you're going to create a tarot deck. And I literally looked up at the sky and went, fuck off. Not happening. Okay, not happening. Within 2 weeks, I had that tarot deck completely done, created for business owners so they can stop looking outside of themselves and find out what they need from within. Okay. So very similar story with the awards. I've won multiple awards over the years, but never specifically for what I do. So the closest I got was Holistic Business Coach of the Year, and I've just won for the 3rd year on a trot with the Prestige Awards. I've also got Global Recognition Award for the people that I connect with and the lives that I touch, which is all great and well. But when I look at my peers, when I look at my colleagues and think, I can't put you forward for that award because it doesn't fit right. You know, you've got plant medicine, you've got rewilding, you've got holistic products, health foods. Like there just isn't anything out there for a whole community of people that are quite literally transforming lives, changing businesses, and are highly successful. So when I was feeling like that, I was like, okay, so I sat with it. And then Spirit kept nudging me, you've got to create the awards, you've got to create the awards. And I sat with it for over 2 years and said, okay, we'll run with this. Now, most of the time when I follow Spirit, a guidance and everything else that I'm doing, it's normally quite smooth sailing. I'm going to be really honest. These awards have not been smooth sailing at all.
I'm sure.
I have come up with
I'm sure
more
they've been your greatest teacher too, right? I'm sure they've been your greatest teacher too, right?
Goodness, it has been absolutely insane. But what I've also come to realize is because the spiritual community is so afraid of being seen. They're so afraid of being in the spotlight. They're too humble. They're too, I'm just happy over here doing my thing. And last year I was receiving emails in abundance from people telling me they'd never been nominated. In 30 years of service, they've never been recognised. They didn't believe that there was anybody out there that would see them as good enough for what they do. And that just gave me more fire to keep going. And when I was in the room with the winners and the finalists last year, and I felt that emotion and I saw the transformation and I could see everything that was coming from it. It's making me a bit emotional now. It's so needed. This little tiny section of the world that I'm taking up, this little space that I'm taking up right now is giving recognition to people that have never had it and will probably never have got it if I hadn't made this move. And I'm not taking full credit because there is so many of us that have come together to make this happen, like yourself, Nimesh, as one of the judges, Katie Burkett as another judge, Andrea as another judge. And then last year we had Cheryl White and Katie Burkett. And I think there was someone else, but I can't remember. Oh, Tony Courtney Brown. Like Rachel Stone. Cheryl wasn't a thing. I got it wrong. Anyway, so we had, there's all these people that make it possible. And when I sit back and look at the bigger picture and can see how this is going to evolve and grow, it's quite a beautiful thing. It really is. And I'm honoured to be facilitating that space for people to come along and be celebrated. And I'm going to say it. And I know a lot of people are going to be annoyed at me saying it, but I'm going to say it. You can come and be celebrated without having to chant around a campfire, because that's really not what spirituality is about. It's a process and it's a part of it for those that want to follow. But I want to break down the traditional perceptions of what spirituality is. It is no different to any other human on the planet. Everybody is spiritual in their own way, because spirituality is actually about coming back to the self. It's not about the rituals or the processes.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. It's that, sometimes we do these processes because we want to be fixed, right? And what if we don't need to be fixed? And yeah, I love it. And spirituality is becoming more mainstream. People used to love, people still to talk about it as woo-woo, it's like kind of that something, but it's like, I feel like there's a secret revolution happening where it's becoming more and more mainstream. People know this energy right now. People know they need to do something different.
They do. They really do. And that's why people like you and I exist, because that is what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, Einstein would say, definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, expect a different set of results, right?
That's it.
And it's time to try something different. And I love your intention of creating a space to celebrate those that, wouldn't normally be celebrated, but are raising the vibration of the planet, right? It's like with this energy and shift we're in right now, the collaboration, the connection, doing the work for yourself, but also, guiding others is so important. And for me, when I'm guiding others, I'm healing me too, right? So I'm using my my energy, my vibration to guide others, hold space for others, and shift others. And while I'm doing that, I'm growing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my clients are teaching me just as. So I love it. And I have to say, when I was doing the judging, and it was beautiful just to feel everyone's energy and kind of go into kind of their journey. And, you actually find yourself going deeper into their energy and vibration. It probably took me longer than it should, but it was just beautiful, kind of feeling everyone's energy, their intention, kind of, because it's an energy thing more than you can look at somebody's website or whatever, but it's like when you start feeling their intention, their energy, their vibration, and kind of what they've done, and
Their
it's beautiful.
passion and purpose as well. Like,
Beautiful.
One of the things that I've taken away from these awards more than anything else is seeing the difference between someone who's in business for the sake of being in business and generating an income, and seeing those in business with a real passion for impact and change for the highest good of all. I mean, a lot of the people that come into my space are actually legacy holders. They're here to create legacy and create change. And if you told me 15, 20 years ago that this is what I'd be doing, I would have told you talking a load of tosh, and
I'm
there's no
sure.
way in a million years that I'd be sat here having this conversation with you. If you told me 10 years ago that I'd be jumping on stages in front of 400, I wouldn't be jumping, I'd be dancing and singing my way to stages in front of 400 people with childhood icons and, doing all this stuff, I never would have believed you, because back then I didn't have the capacity to even speak my own name, let alone take the mic and just randomly chat to people because I can. The journey of evolution is so, and that's why it's called Ascension.
Yeah.
Because your business will never stay as one thing, and as a spiritual entrepreneur you will never be one thing. You will constantly evolve. But what we want for you, and the vibration in that specific room, is that you ascend into the space you want to be in, rather than just transform into what you think you should be. And that's the difference.
I love it. Actually, it reminds me, my mentor, my friend, who's now no longer in this realm, is my guide. She named my home Merlin House of Ascension. So it's just like, because it's such an energy. I've done so much healing, and she's done healing. It's like a bubble around it, and I feel that, right? So I feel like we all have an opportunity to ascend if we choose to.
And yeah, we do. We absolutely do. And it's how we choose to do that.
And there's no right and wrong way, right?
No, there isn't.
I don't feel like we make mistakes. I feel like even if we feel like it's a mistake, it's a learning opportunity. It's how do you know what you're supposed to do if you don't? Maybe try and fall over a couple of times. You just don't know, right?
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said. Like, people look at failure as a shameful experience. I look at failure as a learning experience, because every time we fail, and I've failed loads, and I mean loads, but the more I've failed, the more I've learned, the more I've evolved, the more I've grown, the more bigger the results I've got in the end anyway. Parts of this awards process, I feel like I've failed certain things, taken my eye off the ball, things haven't been right, like since the beginning of me doing it.
Sure.
But then in saying that, that's how I've learned. I am not a sit-down textbook learner.
Yeah.
I am in the moment, make the mistake and go, well, I won't do that one again, will I? And
Exactly.
keep going.
But you have a choice. You either sit with that and just like, oh, I can't believe I did that, or just like, all right, thank you. You know what? I won't do that again, and you move on, right? It's just
Absolutely.
but you also manifest those people around you that can do the things that actually maybe you're not good at, right? So, and this is where your message is, maybe to ask for more help, right? Just saying.
I have. I've gone from a team of 2 to a team of 6. Well, it was 7, but we've dropped down to 6 in the last 5 months.
I love it.
Yeah.
I congratulate you on creating the awards, because I'm sure it's a life consuming and you did the last one a year ago, and then there's probably some time to integrate, and I'm guessing 6 months before you start, the craziness starts again, and as you get closer to the awards, it's all consuming, right? So
Absolutely.
it's a big undertaking. So
it makes me alive. There's one thing hosting an event, there's another thing hosting awards. One thing I wasn't prepared for was the amount of administrative tasks that would be involved. So my My poor PA has become the event coordinator, because I am just at the, I can't, my brain just goes, it's over my head. I'm handing that over. It is not something I'm going to be spending my time doing.
And that's powerful too, right? Just admitting that, you know what, this is not my thing.
Do you know what though? What was frustrating me was I used to do admin. That was my thing, and now I'm like, I think because I've built a business.
That version of you doesn't exist anymore, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That version of me that needed everything perfect, every I dotted, every T crossed, every structure, every strategy, every move nailed, mapped out, and brought all together, and everything else. It doesn't exist in me anymore. I just need to have fun, grow, scale, be the visionary, be the leader within it, be the one that pulls it all together and says, right, this is what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. Just loosely. It's all loosely. It has to be flexible.
100%.
But yeah, that version of me doesn't exist anymore in any way, shape or form. And I'm like, I really want parts of that part back. Thank you. Like, come on. And then the other part of me is like, you know what? I actually quite like the messy, chaotic side of me too, because it brings more fun. It brings more excitement. It brings more shit moments. And it just takes pressure off.
Yeah, and you know what? It's how serious you take it, right? I'm sure there's moments you're like, oh, part of my language, but fuck, why, but it's like afterwards, you get through it, right? It's just like, oh, you know what? And it's like a day later, even 10 minutes later, it's not a big deal anymore, right? It's just that. But it's fun with it, though, right?
Yeah, I sent a text to one of my team members. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm just an open book. So I sent a text message to my team members the other day going, do you know what? I'm probably better off just cancelling it and just not bothering.
Wow, yeah. I'm sure there's moments like that. I mean, this is, I have no idea how much, work would go into. I can imagine it's a lot. I mean, I have actually, by the time this comes out, the retreat probably already happened, but I have a retreat coming up next week. And, it's a much smaller event. And it's like, even that is like, the human side, I'm like, oh, I can, and some of it, a lot of it's not done by me anyway, but there is parts of me like, oh, God, just, I don't want to be dealing with this stuff. It's just like, I just want to, I want to be there and just do what I'm here to do. Right. So.
Yeah, and I think we get like that as entrepreneurs anyway. Like we get to a certain point where we've done all the admin, we've done all the paperwork, we've done the hours in Canva, we've done the make things pretty, we've done the get the copy right. We've done all of that. We don't want to be doing that anymore. We want to be serving, we want to be delivering, we want to be taking action.
Do the things that lift your soul, right?
Yeah, completely. There was this kind of perception that you need to sit down, you need to get everything perfect, you need to have this, and this. And I'm literally telling my clients at the moment, just stop with the perfection. Like you can perfect it on your next launch, but right now, let's just keep it simple. Do video instead of making pretty graphics. Sod the carousel, go live, do whatever it is you need to do. Just stop with the perfection side of it. Generate the income first, then make it pretty later, because you can pay someone to do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, my deal with my guides is I'm just going to keep showing up. Wherever I feel led to, wherever I feel nudged to, I'm just going to keep showing up.
And that's it.
If that means, recording a reel, sure. And then if that means, agreeing to be a judge on the awards, sure. If it feels right, I'm just going to do it, Yeah. I mean, that whole journey of, becoming a judge was, somebody recommended me. We had a conversation. The energy felt good. I wasn't sure, we talked about what's entailed, but I was like, yeah, sure. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah.
I didn't need to overthink it. I didn't need to, it felt right. Just,
Yeah.
Why do we complicate life? So let's talk more about the awards itself. But tell us what, I know there's like one day the awards and then there's a second day for VIPs, but tell us more. What if somebody wants to attend, their awards I know are in Leeds, but if you're in that local area, if you're in the UK, even if you want to fly in, what can people expect?
So this is where the magic is going to unfold. So the event itself is split into 3 parts. We have the symposium during the day, which is where we have all the speakers, and I don't run normal conferences. So this is a symposium because we are doing it differently. Each of the speakers on the stage will be activating the audience in their key area expertise. So we have got Akashic Records, Akashic Records for business blocks. We've got Akashic Reiki, which is a new modality that's been brought out and created. We've got time and energy management, using the energetics to get you to be more time efficient. We have got visibility. We have got PR. We have got purpose, soul purpose in life and business. I'll be doing a sales activation from the stage. We have got a heart opening meditation. So that you can receive and actually get the downloads that you need to take action. So coming along to the symposium alone is going to be the most transformational experience that most people have never had from a conference. The energy is going to be high, the transformation, even the MC is going to be delivering high frequency work through the day. Because I know she will. I know what she's like. She's just going to rock up and she's just going to do her thing. It's just how she rolls. Then we've got the grounds, the hotel grounds. So this venue is very, very special. We are going to be congregating at the Hazelwood Castle, just in Tadcaster, just outside Leeds. Now, this castle hotel is a space where Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn used to go and hide. But it's also during, I think there was a war phase, and it was turned into a birthing unit. So the energy of it is about birth and life.
Wow.
So, and I've just got goosebumps. Honestly, I'm just like so excited about the venue.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, the land makes such a difference.
Yeah, completely. And then we've also got the double doors that will open and we can go down some steps. We have got disability access for those that might not be able to manage the steps. I've already made sure that's all in place. So
Nice.
you can go down the steps and then you've got this beautiful scenery. It is just absolutely stunning. And you've got grass and you've got trees. We can all go and hug a massive tree. I think it's a cedar tree or something. So we've got all of that as well. So those that need to go and get grounded can kick their shoes off, can get in the grass, or you could just take 10 minutes out. It's not going to be a problem. We've got the library where you can go and, if you do need to go and take that urgent meeting or a quick call, you can go and sit in there. If you're getting overwhelmed with the energetics, you can go and take a break. We've provided everything in that. And then the next step is everyone's going to wrap up from the symposium during the day, checking out the expos, because there's going to be a few expo stands, and then they're going to go off, get all prettied up, put on their ball gowns, and come and join us for a sit-down meal, ecstatic dance, a panel, and an interview with our headline speaker. Panel the judges, yourself, Nimesh, and Katie and Andrea. And then we've got the whole celebration of the awards, which is just going to be so, so beautiful. Then we will have the evening celebration. Once that is done, most people will be going home, but a select few will be staying behind. And the next morning, we're all going to meet and walk down to the Woodland venue, where we are going to be integrating and activating on a deeper level than what we did from the stage. So the VIP day is the day where we're going to be doing breakthrough sessions. We're going to be doing deeper activations for wealth, sales, money. We're going to be doing there's another visibility masterclass, I believe. There's cacao ceremony, there's one-to-one coaching, there's access to a thermal suite, as well as lunch and everything else that's all going to be included. I couldn't have created this event if I'd tried. It's all come together from spirit and the universe. So the event itself isn't a traditional event that you just go to for the sake of going to an event. This is an event you go to with complete intention. I'm here to transform. I'm here to transmute. I'm here to ascend. This is Ascension, and this is what we're bringing to the world.
Wow. Beautiful. I mean, I was excited before. I'm even more excited now. So, and the grounds, I mean, I picked Glastonbury for my retreat because the grounds are so important. And, being in a castle, I love it. It's just the ground. And I've seen some of the videos. It looks amazing. So I'm super, super excited. Obviously, I include all the links in the show notes. And, you also get to meet us. You get to meet some beautiful souls. You get to connect with so many amazing souls. And you get to be in an environment that lifts you up anyway, right? There's like, you get all
Absolutely.
this learning, but there's so much stuff that's happening in the background with your guys and the stuff, and the collaborations and the connections. And yeah, I'm excited. So
Yeah,
congratulations for creating such a
thank
beautiful
you.
event. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. One of the things from the last event, one of the pieces of feedback that's really stuck with me is one of the attendees said, Vicki, I have never walked into a room and been met with so much love from people I've never met before. She said the connections, the collaborations, the business, everything that has gone on in this room is beyond anything that I've ever seen. And you should be so proud of what you're doing and the people that you're bringing together. And I believe the difference is the people we're bringing together are people that are like-minded, and they are consciously awake. They're not suppressed. They're not hiding parts of themselves just to fit in, because they know they can't hide with us.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that interesting? You can't hide. And this is the thing. It's like, I feel like we've been pushed and we can't hide anymore, right? So I feel like the timing is beautiful, right? It's just amazing.
Absolutely.
So Vicki, as we start to close, I'd love for you to talk about, apart from joining us at your event, how else can, I mean, I'll include your links in the show notes, but how can people reach out and kind of work with you? They feel connected with you. What's the best?
The best way and quickest way to come and find me is through the main social media channels. I am quite active there in the DMs. So you've got Instagram, which is I am Vicki Chisholm, or you've got Facebook, which is just Vicki Chisholm. I'm quite searchable if you put me into Google. I'm definitely not a hidden gem. With times I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you know, I suppose the thing is, for me, with people that want to reach out to me, is make sure you do it with intention. So what is the intention? What's the purpose that you want from the connection with me? Do you want to grow? Do you want to ascend? Do you want to transform your sales? Do you want to get ahead with your business? Do you want to serve more people? Do you want to create bigger impact? And ask me a direct question, because then we can have an open conversation, and that open conversation will normally mean me channeling something for you. And that is where that connection will get to build from. And I'm happy doing that. I'm happy connecting with people in that way. In fact, I would much rather do that than someone ping me an email and go, can I just, or downloading my 40 Shades of Sales ebook and then saying, and then just going through those motions. I want to hear from you. I want to have that open conversation. But for the Business Ascension Awards, if you type into Google Business Ascension Awards UK, you will find us.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. So as we close out this episode, if you had one bit of advice for our listeners that you're feeling in your heart that we want to close with, what would that be?
Be true to you, because you're all that really matters in this moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Vicki, thank you for being here. I loved our conversation. Looking forward to meeting you in person in whatever period of time. The countdown, I'm sure, has been going up for a while, but sending you so much love and light, and all the listeners, thank you for being here, and sending you all so much love and light. And couldn't have said it even better myself. Be true to you. So, and Vicki, I'm going to leave it to you to say goodbye to our listeners, and we'll take it from there. Over to you.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to you, Nimesh. I've really enjoyed our conversation today, and I hope there's been some nuggets that I've been able to share today to help those listening in out there. Just because you see people succeeding or looking like they're succeeding in life, they have their own story too, and we're all on our own journey. So just trust in that. So thank you for listening. Thank you, Nimesh, for having me. And go and get your ticket for the awards is what I'm going to say. Go and get in the room.
I love it. Thank you. Bye for now.